Now here's something from the HOPA Gaming channel. A game without a hidden object scene. Yes, this is something strange indeed considering our channel's name, but hey ho! It's got puzzle and adventure elements, and when I played this game, I instantly fell in love with it. So why not join our review of the game Sacred Almanac: Traces of Greed. Sacred Almanac: Traces of Greed was originally released in July 2015 and was developed by Farmill's Game Studio, the same people who created Hope Lake, which we reviewed here a year ago. The story begins when the chief engineer, Jonathan Finch, mysteriously disappears during an accident at the construction site of a trunk railway along a mountain region, thus causing the operations to halt. Finch previously reported an increased seismic activity on the site, but a few weeks ago, his conclusion had the opposite meaning, thus causing the railway company to launch an investigation. Was the accident caused by nature, or was it human-induced? And if it was, does Finch's disappearance have anything to do with it? Fortunately, the accident was caught on film, and later, the footage ended up on the head of the company, who later handed it to his friend, ex-army officer Richard Stone, to have a look. Perhaps Stone had previous experience as an investigator, but this wasn't given outright in the game. Aside from the film footage, Stone also received a cryptext in the same parcel. While receiving the footage, Stone noticed a statue at the entrance, and somehow this intrigued him so much that he decided to go to the construction site to personally investigate it. Aside from navigating the hazards of the construction site and the mountainous terrain, Stone must also fend off dangerous people lurking in the area who seemed keen to keep him from doing his mission. Later, he stumbled upon the ancient tribe of Ikmar living in the mountains, and it seemed that they have a different story about Finch's true motives. Like I said, this game is more of an old-school point-and-click game with no hidden object elements. Yet, zilch, nada. Fortunately, it's got 21 mini-games mixed with adventure elements, enough to keep an inquisitive mind entertained. Some items for inventory can be put together, while some can be used again and again. Aside from the usual items added to the inventory, the player will also use Stone's trusty cane on different occasions to pick, poke, and push stuff. Although I admit that I'm not used to this concept, that sometimes I forget that it's there and I'm stuck with a problem and the solution is actually right there with me. Oh well. Remember the cryptext that you received in the package along with the film reel of the accident? You pick up some crystals along the way and you put these crystals on the cylinder. Once again, the hint button is there should you really get stumped about what to do. This game also has a map that allows you to jump between unlocked areas, and fortunately, there's minimal back and forth and it's between sites that are close to each other. The developers have done a great job of compartmentalizing areas that you wouldn't necessarily need to use the map just to jump between sites. There are 32 vividly colorful game scenes in Sacred Almanac, although if you're a big fan of animation cutscenes, then you won't like this game's visuals. But I'm personally impressed by some of the pan and zoom movements over the still images because it felt unique and refreshing. It felt like I was inside the painting in an interactive exhibition. For a game that was released in 2015, it gave this game a unique edge over its contemporaries. So big kudos to the team behind the art direction of this game. Now, what would have greatly enhanced this experience is if there were any voiceovers, which this game unfortunately doesn't have, despite seeing the characters move their lips during the dialogue scene. The subtitles are found at the bottom of the screen, and while I don't mind reading the dialogues, it seemed that there was too much time given for the characters to say their lines. Fortunately, this could be remedied by hitting the skip button if you're itching to get going with your mission. Right off the bat, you can probably say that the game's theme borrows heavily on the Indiana Jones franchise. Obviously, no Harrison Ford is going to make a special appearance here. As for the sound effects and background, the sound effects are crisp, with only the theme tune playing on loop, although sometimes it disappears in some scenes. But still, the theme tune is catchy enough and appropriate for the game's adventure story. Spoiler alert! The main criticism that I could give is the lackluster ending given to such a potentially promising story. The ending shows Stone taking Finch back to the Western world after managing to capture him. I mean, I don't want to be petty, but I think properly saying goodbye to the Igmar tribe, especially Artana, the wise woman, would have been a good way to repay the help they gave me instead of just buggering off. Hey, that's the guy I just helped! And he's finally got the guy who tried to steal our treasure. Well, shame that he's going to miss the going away party we've planned for him though. To sum it up, Sacred Almanac, Traces of Greed is an old-school point-and-click game that will attract HOPA fans with its variety of puzzles and adventure that hits all the right notes. Although the storyline isn't particularly solid, its atmospheric environments, gameplay mechanics, and artistic presentation create the level of immersive experience that pulls you into the world of an Indiana Jones vibe adventure. If you're looking for a point-and-click game that combines puzzles, explosions, and Indiana Jones vibes, then Sacred Almanac, Traces of Greed is definitely worth playing. And that's a wrap for today's review. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the HOPA Gaming channel for more hidden object puzzle adventure game reviews. Until next time, this is the HOPA Gamer signing off. Stay curious and keep gaming. Bye!